In the Lost Lands is an upcoming action-adventure fantasy film from director Paul W.S. Anderson. Starring Dave Bautista and Milla Jovovich, In the Lost Lands is based on Game of Thrones creator George R. R. Martin's short story of the same name, in which a witch and a hunter journey into the Lost Lands to find a gift for a queen. In the Lost Lands trailer confirmed that the film will be released in the United States on March 7 as the newest collaboration between the husband and wife duo of Jovovich and Anderson. Paul W.S. Anderson and Milla Jovovich have a long history of making movies together, starting in 2002. Although Anderson and Jovovich's collaborations rarely garner much critical acclaim, they have managed to accrue enough of a fanbase to continue making films for over 20 years. While Anderson has made many different types of films over the years, he is most famous for his video game adaptations. In the Lost Lands could be a replacement for Anderson and Jovovich's most popular franchise. In the Lost Lands could be Milla Jovovich and Paul W.S. Anderson's next big franchise after Resident Evil. The duo haven't been able to repeat the success of their most popular series, Grey Alice, embodying some magic in the Lost Lands. Milla Jovovich and Paul W.S. Anderson's biggest franchise was Resident Evil, a series of movies based off the hit video game series by Capcom. When Hollywood first started making video game movies in the 90s and 2000s, the biggest similarity between them tended to be their quality, or lack thereof. The Resident Evil movies have never been incredible cinema, but they were generally seen as some of the better video game movies, enough that they managed to make a total of 6 Resident Evil movies across 14 years. The Lost Lands needs to avoid the fate of Milla Jovovich and Paul W.S. Anderson's last movie to start a franchise. Their previous work didn't make any kind of impact. Paul W.S. Anderson and Milla Jovovich's last movie team-up was 2020's Monster Hunter, a live-action video game adaptation of another classic Capcom series. Monster Hunter was panned by critics and hated by fans of the original games, resulting in a box office flop, with no potential of becoming a franchise. As video game adaptations have improved, such as Prime Video's Fallout and HBO's The Last of Us, the quality expected by audiences has risen. Middling adaptations can no longer get a pass. In the Lost Lands is adapting a much less well-known book property, not a video game, so Paul W.S. Anderson and Milla Jovovich's newest collaboration won't come with the baggage of their previous film.